Stop the world. I want to get off. A phrase used in an old USY handbook on Shabbat. Very appropriate for us right now. And how I believe Shabbat, just taking a few moments if as necessary, but really the full day if we can, to do the best we can do to unplug, to be together, to celebrate, yes, securely, but to try not to worry, because for 6 days of the week, we can worry. I'm often asked when I meet somebody for the first time, trying to get to know me, how did I know that I wanted to be a rabbi? When did I know? The story that I tell, and it's true, is that in my senior year of high school, I chaired the convention, the spring convention, and I was foolish enough to say I would prepare the teaching materials. Usually they would hire a rabbinical student to do that. And we chose the topic to be about Shabbat. So I embarked on my career as a teacher, spending time learning the material, internalizing it, and then producing it for other people to learn, and in this case also to teach. It was material for teachers to use or for facilitators to use. And I came on that question, how do you present Shabbat? How do you teach Shabbat? The Torah gives us two methods, what I would call them punitive and the reward method. We saw in the beginning of this week's Torah portion a little bit of the punitive. Kol ha'oseh malacha mot yumat. Anyone who does creative labor, that's a whole other class of what malacha is, but I'm going to call it creative labor of our occupations. All who does that shall surely die. That's pretty fearsome. Recognizing, if I break Shabbat, God's going to kill me in some way, or I'll get stoned like the person who collected wood on Shabbat in the book of Numbers. It can work. We know that fear and punishment works. But that's not the only way the Torah gives us, or the Tanakh as well. We are told that Shabbat is a time for Shabbat vayinafash, to rest and refresh, to give all of our workers and animals, by the way, the physical rest that they need. Isaiah tells us v'karata oneg, to call the Shabbat a delight. And we have kiddush, we have beautiful meals. It is supposed to be a day of joy. So which one are we supposed to present it? Well, this time around, I found another story that I wish I had found 30 years ago. It's a story of the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Hasidism. Don't worry if it's fact or not. The Baal Shem Tov is having that same struggle. We are told, V'karata lechem oneg. But why do we have all these prohibitions on Shabbat? So he has a dream. And in his dream, he visits two people. He went to the first person, and it's a Saturday afternoon. He's invited. Clearly this person's not Jewish. And there's a banquet before him. And so they say, come and join the banquet. And we'll sing some of the local songs. An enjoyable time. And knowing that it was Shabbat, he said, why do you have this banquet every Saturday? And he says, I don't actually know. All I know is that my parents, every Saturday, would have a beautiful meal and sing songs. So I keep that up. Now, he wasn't observing the rules of Shabbat, the prohibitions of Shabbat. And the Baal Shem Tov was about to tell him, you're Jewish, and this is what you should do. But he didn't have the power of speech at that moment. He didn't have the power of speech to tell him what he was doing wrong. And the next dream, he goes to a person at Shabbat, and he's literally just doing nothing. I'm going to sit here for 25 hours because I don't want to be accused or do anything wrong on the Shabbat. I'm going to sit here, I'm going to fast and do nothing. And the Baal Shem Tov was about to say, you are not following the spirit of Shabbat. And yet he also lost his power of speech, because he realized in this dream that if he was to tell this person, you need to enjoy Shabbat more, that it might not be the best way to describe it to him. And the same thing with the other person, that he was observing Shabbat as he knew how to do so. And to tell him, you can't cook your food, you got to do it the day before, the message would not have gotten through. Many of us observe Shabbat in different ways. Our parents and grandparents had to make choices. This country is not a Shabbat observing. Sunday is the day. So some people felt compelled that they had to go to work. Others make the choice for convenience. Others actually have doubts. Is there someone really, the presence of God that's going to check whether I light the fire or take my car, whatever it is? But we know that Shabbat has kept the Jewish people, and that there is joy to be found in observing this day, however one does so. However you mark the day, that is good enough. Like the person who grew up with Shabbat but not even knowing it. And yes, if you are concerned with the prohibitions, study them. But know that really that's not good enough either. You have to find the joy in the day. We need to find that golden mean of observing Shabbat, finding the joy, what it means to be Shabbat, and yes, disciplining ourselves to refrain from some of the anxieties that are in our life 6 days a week. Because if we don't, they will overwhelm us. The rabbis teach us that Shabbat is supposed to be me'ein olam haba, a taste of this world to come, a taste of perfection. A teacher that I did use, a book that I did use in my teaching 30 years ago, is Abraham Joshua Heschel's The Book, The Sabbath. It's short. I encourage you to read it. And in it, he describes how this combination in this week's Torah portion between the Mishkan, the physical sanctuary, and Shabbat, it's always there. We have to observe Shabbat building the Mishkan, is that Shabbat is a sanctuary in time. Instead of going into a physical place to feel holiness, to feel safe, 25 hours a week, we get to come in to a sanctuary of time. And obviously here we are in a sanctuary as well. And so I encourage us 6 days a week to do what we can to fight anti-Semitism, to do what we can to thank and to work with our security staff to make ourselves feel safe, and know that when Friday comes, we are going to make ourselves a nice meal, and we're going to hopefully unplug a little bit, because we need to have the rest, and we need to be able to say Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful Shabbat, with all the earnestness that we can have. And when Shabbat is over, we can pick up the mantle of making the world a better place. Shabbat Shalom.